So let's see how they have tackled their situations. Let's go to this NGO and see what this NGO does. So this is a Setu Charitable Trust. They work for the health of these Agaria families, where they have a mobile van donated by some person in Ahmedabad. I don't know exactly the name. So these van, see if you see inside on the video conference, the fourth image here. In this image, you see me sitting alongside this person. He is explaining me that this is a screen where you see the doctor, and the doctor talk to you, and that's how you deal with a medical problem. And this van is movable, so it goes to village by village, and they set up their tower. Wherever the network is fine, they stop there and call the people, and one by one they go inside, and then they check their medical conditions. Doctor is sitting somewhere in Mumbai, somewhere in Ahmedabad, and this is a pretty nice, pretty ambitious kind of thing back then. This was before COVID, online system, online video conferencing. And at the back, you see the boot space is all filled with dispensary. So they have made this drawer where you can find the medicines. This is a small pharmacy, a mobile pharmacy. So these guys are working on the health part of these Agaria families. Another fantastic, NGO that was working is the Gantar. Gantar NGO deals with the education of the children. Now imagine those 8 months when they go to Little Run of Kutch. What is the life of the kids? Do they study there? Somebody must thought of something, right? Somebody should solve that problem of, and that Gantar has solved the problem of education of the kids. So what they do is they keep the kids in Patadi, where Gantar has came up with a campus, and these students are being taught. In addition to Gujarat government's syllabus, they also teach skill developments. Like if some girl want to learn stitching, they teach stitching. If some kid wants to learn about bamboo craft, then he learns about bamboo craft. If somebody wants to learn welding, he learns welding. So Gantar has came up with this fantastic model of education for these people, for these little kids who were initially deprived of the education in Little Run of Kutch. And further, whenever you have a problem, it is not only the ecosystem you need to deal with, but also the experts. You need to always validate your solutions or your problems, talk about them, because you never know again when you match the same wavelength and there is a magic wonder happening between you and the expert. So we invited a few of the people and Anil Gupta himself, and we spoke about our findings. And then moving on, we saw what the problem actually was. First of all, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. It's a big issue in that place. Second is when the soil do not produce anything but salt. And this is the slide that I want to show you with the range of all the problems, starting from injuries in the barefoot culture. So then callosities is nothing but your corns that happen, while walking barefoot. Then heart problems due to heavy work. Night blindness is a very common problem in this area because of lack of vitamin A. These Agaria people, when they work in salt pan, they constantly look below. And while doing that, what happens is the salt reflects a huge amount of light into their eyes. And when they start, when they, lift their head, they see nothing but black. And slowly over the ages, they start developing this night blindness problem. The ladies here mostly have this problem of kidney stones because of lack of water. and they hold their bladder, they don't go for urinating, because of which again they face a lot of problems. Medical issues were validated from the reports that we got from that mobile van. So Karagada Panchayat has this fantastic facility for these people. There is a van. Every week, this van goes to each and every Agaria families. They give them a card like this, where they check for all basic medical conditions of all the people. And here, there is a huge record of this health data in that particular health facility. We saw that most of these ladies in Agaria families are suffering from the kidney problems. All right, so there are other problems like underground water is 10 times all. This itself is a problem for that community. Then 20 liters of potable water per person per day is another problem. Then one interesting problem is the open defecation in that area. This was the scope that we chose to move ahead. Other than that, there is education issue that Gunther was already looking at. Illiteracy issue was already being addressed. Then Agaria tracking is difficult. So this means that Agaria knows their way in that barren land. But the issue here is, if they get stuck somewhere, the third person cannot find it, because the third person is not aware of that area like they do, which is why tracking them is difficult. And this happens when the flood comes and they fail to come back to Karagoda on time. These Agaria get stuck in the mud, and the rescue team have, they have to face a very hard time finding their locations. Now the question is, why would they defecate in open? They defecate in open because, first of all, the water amount is less, the water that they get is less, so they do not have to maintain any toilets. They just need to clean themselves and wash their hands. That's why. Second reason is that, they have a luxury of land, and in 1 kilometer square, there is nobody, alive walking other than their own family. So they walk from the hutments to a far area, and then they defecate there, come back. Most of these activities are carried out during the dark. The ladies go somewhere at around 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, all together in groups. And the gents, sometimes they are not much, they are carefree about this thing to some extent compared to the ladies. And they also do it in the daytime. So moving ahead, why again? What is the motivation for these people to do it? This is a particular image I want to show you to visualize how they do it during the daytime. They carry these twigs, they carry a shawl, they put it on the mud, they stick it there, and then they cover it themselves from one side, not more than one side, because they just see wherever there is a possibility of person coming, they put that shawl, that veil on that side, and then do it on the back. They carry these small things, and you are well aware of this. These kind of pictures are very common in all defecation practices. If you see this image, I've just marked the routes, how they go. Today they will go on the northern side, tomorrow they will go on the western side. It's like that. Every time they have a different spot. Okay, which is little adventurous as well. So what are the benefit over? So this slide will talk about the benefit over consequences. That means there are some incentives, there are some reason why they go in open defecation, but because of that they're enjoying it, no doubt, but the consequences that happen is the problem that we are trying to find out. So what is the motivation? The motivation is that it's odorless. If it is an enclosed place, you will have to deal with the foul smell. Number 2, no maintenance. If there is a toilet, you have to clean it. If there is no toilet, you just dump it there and come back. Number 3, they defecate in groups. That means socializing happen there. They talk, they speak, they exchange their ideas, they exchange their frustrations as well. Number 4, less use of water. Number 5, luxury of sun and land. When I say land, you already got it. But what about the sun? Sun dries the poop in 2 days, and the poop turns into soil in 2 days. That's it. So you never get to, you never encounter the same poop again. Next time you go, it's not there. It's dried up already. So basically, there is no post engagement as well. No post engagement. The way we have to go, we have to flush it. We have to do many things, right? Before and after, so that next time I can come and I can do it again without any hesitation. But here, nothing is required. You just go and do your job and come back. But the consequence now, so it's a fantastic thing, right? Open defecation. Open defecation is a problem when there is a population density, right? But for them, hygiene is not a question because they have luxury of land. It's a good thing. So what is the problem then? The problem lies when the kidney fails. The lady especially, they have to hold up, they have to tolerate as much as they possible, and when the sun sets, they run. It's like that. This is where the problem comes. And because of that, because they have this hesitation to go during the daytime, what they do, they drink less water. And because of this reason, they have bladder controls and they have kidney problems. And the problem gets worse when the ladies are having their periods, right? And again, the problem appear when, because they go away from their husband. If you remember the family dynamics, that kid and that mother, you remember that family dynamics in the beginning, right? That kid and the mother. So if the mother has to go outside, she has to leave the kid behind. And there are many open tube wells and many electric wires running around that area, which poses a lot of accidental situations, which is why going away from the hutment for a long time is a problem. So the idea was to bring them close, and if you bring them close, you need to enclose them. So that's how we came up with an idea. We'll show you now. Somebody during this project suggested me one thing, a very fantastic statement, said that if you are having hesitation going in the open, see, that question is for me actually. If you are having hesitation going in the open, the same hesitation will be faced by that Agaria person if you bring them back to enclosure. They are used to open defecation. Bringing them back to enclosure will cause a lot of problem. But how do we bring them back to enclosure? Number one, if we make the enclosure affordable, number one, okay? When affordable, I mean that it should be low cost. It should be easy to fabricate. That means it should not be made somewhere in China or somewhere in Japan and imported here. It should be locally made in Kharaghoda somewhere. Number 3, because they travel a lot to and fro from Kharaghoda to Little Run of Kutch, it has to be lightweight. Foldable, maybe. Second point is easy to deal with. This means that if something goes wrong with any joints, they should be able to repair themselves on the spot. If something gets dirty, they should be able to wash it. That means it should be easy to maintain, in other words. In other words, it should be easy to maintain. And when the particular product is ready and they're using it, then it should also retain all those aspects in the beginning that they had in open defecation. That means it has to be odorless. It should be a dry toilet, should not involve water. And one more thing is that it should be easy to dismantle. That means you can put it out, you can fold it, and you can make a box out of it and carry it back like a foldable part that we already spoke in affordable section. Third point is the third point deals with the visual aspects of it. It should suit their image. If you make a fancy green color tent sort of thing where we stayed, it will be difficult for them to relate with. But if you make something out of gunny bags, perhaps, it will be more relatable for them. They will know how gunny bag work. They can take it out, they can wash it and tuck it back. But we were providing something like canvas instead of gunny bags. We'll come to the solution later. All right, so the design of this falls in a sweet spot between temporary and permanent. That means it is temporary literally, but it should give the feeling of permanent. If you break it, if you dismantle it, fold it and bring it back, it is compact, and it is, you can say, pocket friendly. But the thing is, that's the literal meaning of it. It is not permanent, it is temporary, right? But when you fix it, when you install it in a particular place, the feeling that it should give visually, it should be permanent. They should not feel that अरे ये तो उड़ जाएगा kind of. They should not feel that it will fly away or something like that, right? One of the similar sweet spot was that enclosed versus open. It should be enclosed to cover, to give them privacy, but at the same time it should not be claustrophobic. It should give them the feeling of openness, the way they enjoyed in their open defecation. So bottom line is that if we can tackle the solution using these aspects together, perhaps we can bring them back to an enclosure. In this slide, I will tell you about the design considerations finally. So it was already been covered in the backside. So the intersection of the toilet design is all about easy to dispose. That means you can dispose the poop easily. It should be installed in proximity from the hutment. Then it should be a dry toilet, squat style, not Western style, of course. Then it should be easy to maintain, and it should be odorless. Other than that, there are other aspects which we'll talk in the further slides, future slides. I'd like to talk about the persona. So this is the lady for who we are designing. You have already been aware of the family dynamics, but if we see a persona, it will be easy for us to relate the solution that we are providing. All right. And the secondary user is this, the son of that lady, suppose. All right. Who is this primary user? This primary user is that lady who holds up her bladder and control and wait for the time for the sunset. And because of which these kind of people, these kind of ladies, they face kidney problems. We are solving the solution primarily for these kind of people. Right? She is our persona. Secondary is any gents, any male figure who can use it or who can discard it. A male figure who can use it or refuse to use it based on his own conditions, because already there is luxury of land. What these agarias are good at is digging. They can dig very well. When they go to that place, they start digging for wells, tube wells and everything, and they can make trenches. They are very good with mud work. What they're good at, NGOs like Gantar are already providing them skills, and skills to use bamboo, skill to use wooden things and mud and make something out of it. So this is a skill development courses that Gantar is providing, which is why the Agaria students are getting benefited. This is one skill that they have. We're trying to see the SWOT analysis of these people, all right? What strength they have. And the ladies, they are good with this household course where sewing, stitching and washing are common practices. Our design, whatever design we should come up with, should be around these aspects, these strengths, so that we do not have to rely on some foreign element. It will be sustainable, it will be locally made, locally mended, and locally fabricated and maintained. When you design something, you always need to see your competitions, as in you need to see the market, what the market already have. We try to see similar things where we focus mostly on the enclosure in the beginning. So it's a fantastic design where there are two holes basically dealing with, one with the poop, the other one is the urine. And this is somewhere in Africa. They came up with this design and it was a fantastic success there. Similarly, there is a traditional way of, this is called arbor loop, traditional way of making toilets. It's a dry toilet. And this is a humanoid toilet where sawdust is being poured after doing the job. Now coming back to again Agaria, there are already many solutions available in the market. So I can adopt any of them and put it in little run of Kutch. Maybe it may work, I don't know. But this user study, whatever we did, has something very unique to offer. Number one thing is this behavior retention aspect. Are you aware of behavior retention aspects? It is like, suppose you're designing something for a person who is used to a current practice. If you give him something very new, which requires some new learning, there's a high chance that the person will not adopt your product. So that's called behavior retention. That means they will retain their behavior before and after your product. After your product is born, they will never change their behavior according to your product. They will keep their own. They'll retain their own. That's the point is. That means ultimately you are the one to do some different things, not them. Okay, so moving on. Now that we are coming to this enclosure aspect of it, we try to see what kind of different designs we have. We have designs which are foldable. We have designs which can be, dismantled. These are some of the beautiful designs. This is a laundry bag. Very interesting. If you put a cut, at the bottom of this laundry bag, perhaps this can be an enclosure on the sides, right? It's collapsible as well. So you carry like a ring. Wherever you have to defecate, you just go there and just open it. Of course, this is a smaller scale, but perhaps if you make your design a little bit bigger, it might serve the purpose. Then there are some tent sort of designs, which are again very interesting. These designs are also foldable. You can carry it like a ring and then open it, becomes a tent. So you are all familiar with these tents, right? How they work and how the sticks join and everything, right? So this is the designs what we refer to. This is one of the tent, and then this is another kiosk design which we tried to understand how it works. Now, after exploration of those market, we started exploring the ideas now. What can the idea be finally? So initially we thought of like coming up with a very interesting way of collecting the dump and then using it for some other purpose, because there are no plants. So can we use the dump and add some additional mud, with fertile mud somewhere, dig a pit, collect them together and grow plants? Never know. So that can be an idea. So in ideation process, you have to somewhere switch off your logical brain to some extent and then start digging. Then you have to go like horizontally and start exploring all the ideas and come back after a while. So these are some of the ideas where this idea deals with wooden planks, only wooden planks, because it was available somewhere in Karakoram. And they just know nailing. This does not require any design intervention mostly. You just need to say the dimensions of it and they will make it. These designs dealt with canvas and metal pipes, where the tubular sections will connect each other through interconnectors, and then it will be covered with the canvas. This resembles that kiosk that we saw. This is an open toilet, and these are some of the additions. Here in this design, if you see, this is just some panels. They are being folded at home, but when they go for open defecation, they can carry along with them and then set up there. It will stay there for that purpose, and they can again carry it back. So how else can we bring them back to enclosure? So these are various types of enclosure that we can provide to this community. This is the laundry bag idea, where the laundry bag gets suppressed. If you press it vertically, and it expands to a huge enclosure if you open it. To test some of these aspects, what we did was bought a tent first, because everything in the sketches does not give you that impression of the reality. You have to bring a new tent and just see the scale yourself with your bare eyes. And then we tried to see in the mock-up, if we place the same tent in the little run of Kutch, how will it be placed? So it's a before and this is after. And to increase those aspects, those design considerations, where we have to keep it more open, where we have to see the order so that it does not get inside that enclosure. It has to be more well ventilated. and it should be anchored as well because the wind is very high. Similarly, this kiosk design that we had bought, we tried to see its impression in Little Run of Kutch. We place it on top of a trench, and how will it look like? After having these visions, we tried to have a final concept where we say that these Agaria people, they are good with digging trenches and wells. Then they should have a trench kind of a thing, and where they will defecate in the open, but giving an enclosure to them. Now, how the enclosure will be? It is like a framework like the kiosk. They'll place it like that, as you see in the diagram, and the connectors will be having these details where you can just insert. It's a kind of a four-sided. It's a four-sided connector with the main members going inside it. And after that, after making the square on the ground, the vertical members come into being. And these vertical members are foldable. The design comes from the inspiration of the cane that visually impaired people use them. It's folded, right? They can use it in the pocket, and when they take it out, it becomes a huge stick. So that inspiration we took from cane, and we tried to implement it in our design in the vertical members. After the vertical members are done, we try to come up with the beam on the top. Now that the whole frame is ready, we try to come up with a canvas that encloses this whole thing. And why canvas is because, as we say, the Agaria people, especially the ladies, they were good at stitching and washing, and these are normal household chores. So which is why we try to give, instead of something else, we try to come up with a canvas with a lot of pockets inside it. Again, this pockets is again coming from a very detailed observation. We saw that these Agaria huts, they have this tendency, they develop this tendency of keeping everything on the walls. And we try to retain that same aspect here. Now that they have a canvas, they will definitely look for such kind of opportunity to come up with pockets. So why not to provide them in the beginning itself? You can see the detail, how it's beautifully, it rolls over the metal pipe, and then there is a button to stick it. So the benefit is that it's washable, it's mendable, it's easy to fix. You can open it anytime. You can bring it out completely. And the final part is the veil. It's not a door, it's a veil. And the veil is also, it is also put in the similar manner with a small bar at the bottom, so that the design is getting inspired from the projector screen, where there is a bar at the bottom to keep the screen straight. So this is the veil, and there are some locks at the bottom where the stick gets stuck. It doesn't get open, so you have to lift it vertically to open it. It does not move horizontally. So this is how the stick gets locked in the frame. Right, so final design is nothing but the same one. We'll skip this part, I guess. It's not much required, right? We'll quickly show you one more thing. Wait. So after the design were being visualized, it was handed over to few of the people who were actively looking into this problem. They were the ones to take it forward, and with the help of some funding from Gujarat government, we came up with some products prepared, and we installed them in the site. And you can see in the picture how they have came up with a base, and this is the design. They have removed the canvas in the beginning just for a pilot testing, and after that they are supposed to put this in the soil. They'll insert it below, and they have preemptively, just to see whether it will work or not, they have preemptively introduced this toilet pan. And this was an idea coming from Gyan Foundation. They wanted to test it, and for the testing purpose, they slightly modified the design, the base of it specially, and then they installed it on the site. Now, in the coming days, in the coming period, our attempt is to see how the adoption is happening, at what point they are failing to use it, and what point they are building opinions on it. Is it giving the same aspect as what they had before during open defecation? What kind of benefits they were getting, what kind of motivations that they were getting, are they getting the same motivations here in this new toilet? So those are some of the aspects that we need to test after installing it. So right now the process is that few of the pilot products are being installed and we are ready for testing them. This is the second iteration of it, where they have used the canvas and they have retained the base of it with the toilet pan, again as a preemptive measure. But this design has the dimensions and the veil and the enclosure, everything as per the visualization that we had in the project in the beginning, which is deeply rooted to the study done in the field with the Agaria people. So in IDC, in Shinoa Innovation Studio, we started welding and joining these metal pipes and coming up with this proportionate tent as per the dimensions provided. And then there was this canvas cutting and stitching done as of for the purpose of the veil. These are some of the details that you can see. As of now, just to test the adoption, we are coming up with normal metal pipes, but the proposal is that it has to be lightweight so that they can carry in the field. But this is slightly heavier as of now. Once they adopt it well, then we'll start with the aluminum metals. Okay.